Hi, my name is J.D. Cunegan. That's actually my pen name. My actual name is Jeff. Jeff Cunningham. I am from Virginia. I currently live in Hampton, Virginia, near the mouth of the Chesapeake Bay. If you know where Norfolk and Virginia Beach are, I'm not too far away from there. Obviously, writing is a big hobby of mine, hopefully more than a hobby at some point. As a writer, I like to read. I read pretty much every chance I get. I'm also a big sports fan. I love baseball. Lifelong Baltimore Orioles fan. Love the Washington Capitals. Been getting into hockey the last couple years. So, just what I need. Another thing to occupy my time. But the biggest non-writing interest I have is auto racing, specifically NASCAR. I don't know if you can see behind me. Not only do I have books upon books, I've got more books than I've got shelf space. I've also got uh, NASCAR diecasts. I've got a bunch of pictures and framed photographs. Outside of writing and reading, NASCAR is really my big passion, so to speak. I first started writing when I was in middle school, probably sixth grade. I was about 11 years old. I first discovered comic books. First comic book I ever read was an issue of X-Men. This was back in the Jim Lee, Chris Claremont era. And that really triggered something within me. And from that point on, I just started writing. And at that time, I was drawing too. I wanted to be a comic book artist. Somewhere along the way, I got a lot better at writing than I did at art. So, comic book artist shifted to comic book writer, and now just writer. Anybody who reads my work probably can see the comic book influence. Um, the main character of my debut novel, Bounty, Baltimore homicide detective Jill Anderson, she started as a comic book character, which, if you read this book, you can probably tell. I created her back when I was in high school, probably my sophomore year of high school. I was 15 years old at the time. That's when I first created this character. And she's changed a lot over the almost 20 years since, just like I have. I think I'd be more worried if she didn't, because that would mean that I haven't gotten any better as a writer. And I'd like to think I'm better now than I was when I was 15 years old, because to think otherwise is just kind of depressing. This is my debut novel. It's called Bounty. It tells the tale of Baltimore homicide detective Jill Anderson, who has a secret. Ooh, secret. She is actually also a costumed vigilante known as Bounty. And the case in this book that she works, this is where the murder mystery comes into play. The man who was murdered in this book is actually the man who gave her her cybernetic abilities, her enhanced strength, her agility, the infrared eye that she has on the left side of her face, the supercomputer chipped in her brain. Everything that she has from a cybernetic standpoint, she got from this guy. And the murder threatens to reveal her secret, and obviously, being a cop, she doesn't want this secret getting out because, hey, I'm a cop, I'm breaking the law. A lot of that going around these days. But that really is what Bounty boils down to. Coming out, ooh, a little jiggle there. Coming out next month is the sequel, Blood Ties. This is, as you can see, it's bigger than the first book. It's a lot more intense. It's much more intense. And it deals a lot with her family history, the secrets that her father kept from her. She starts reconciling with her brother, and it's a much more intense read than Bounty. That's January 5th is when Blood Ties comes out. Kindle is available for pre-order. You go through Amazon, you can pre-order the Kindle version. The paperback version will be out on January 5th as well. Typical writing session for me. I don't think I have a typical one. because I write pretty much whenever I can. I write here at home. I'll write in the office. I write on the road. A lot of Bounty was written on airplanes, in airports, because this was my 2014 NaNoWriMo project, and November also happens to be probably my busiest month of the year work-wise. I'm on the road a lot. This past November, I was on the road for 2 weeks. Came back Thanksgiving Day. So a lot of my writing gets done on the road. A lot of my writing is done late at night, here in the house, pretty much wherever I am. If I'm in a hotel room, I'm writing in a hotel room. I write wherever I can, whenever I can. It really doesn't matter. I don't set a word count goal. Other than NaNoWriMo, where I want to hit that 50,000. And just because I hit 50,000, that doesn't mean the book is done. Bounty comes in at about 67,000 words. Blood Ties at about 84. So, other than if I'm doing NaNoWriMo, I don't worry about word count, because to me, how many words there are matters far less than how you use those words. On top of the Jill Anderson mystery series, which I've already shown you the first 2 installments, and 2 more are in the works, I have 2 other books that I'm working on. One is a supernatural fantasy epic called Natna. It follows the exploits of an archaeology professor by the name of Dr. Jack Corbett. And he discovers an ancient artifact known as the Gem of Natna. It's actually a crystal of alien origin. It's a sentient being. It bestows its power upon those it finds worthy. If it doesn't find you worthy, it kills you. As luck would have it, this gem that Dr. Corbett doesn't even think exists finds him worthy. So he has this nice sparkly gem and all of its power, and he finds himself thrust into a centuries-old holy war. Basically, heaven and hell have been fighting for centuries for the fate of the earth, and they're at a stalemate. And the ruler of hell has decided that this gem is his ticket to break the stalemate. So, congratulations, Dr. Corbett. You're not just an archaeology professor anymore. You now have the fate of the world resting on your shoulders. That's something I created even back when I created Jill. This was an entirely separate thing, and it hasn't quite taken off the way Bounty has, but it's still something that I really enjoy writing and I want to put out there, because that's something that I've done for the more than half my life. The second project I have is a political thriller. Something completely, I've never even tackled this before, but it's a story that just hit me one night. It's called The Pen Is Mightier. It follows the exploits of Peter Hollingsworth, a speechwriter for a prominent Republican presidential candidate. That doesn't sound all that great until Peter uncovers a grand international conspiracy at which his candidate is at the center of it, and then it becomes a case of, you know too much, you have to die. Both of those projects are very early on in the development stages. I've just started writing both of them. I'd like to have at least one of them out by the end of 2016, but it's likely that neither of those will be ready until at least 2017. Because as I mentioned, I've got those 2 books. I've got the next 2 books in the Jill Anderson series I'm working on top of my full-time job and all of my other interests. Basically, I need more hours in the day. If you know how to get me more hours in the day, you get free books for life from me. I don't know about anybody else, but you'll get them from me. Do I prefer books or movies? Ooh, that's a good one. I'm going to go with books. Partly because I can make a book. I can't make a movie. Unless this counts as a movie. Probably not. Dogs or cats? I'm definitely a cat person. I like dogs. Don't get me wrong. This is not a case of me not liking dogs. I like dogs just fine. But I'm a cat person. I grew up with a cat. I wish I still had a cat. I love cats. I know it's not something you hear guys say a lot, but cat person. Summer or winter? Ooh, I'm gonna go with summer because that's my downtime at work. There's not a whole lot going on in my job in the summer. Winter, on the other hand, that's one of my busiest times of the year, so I'm gonna go with summer. Cake or ice cream? Ooh, ice cream. Car or motorcycle? I'm gonna go with car because I look at motorcycles and they scare me for some reason. I don't know. Ebook or physical? I love actual hard copy books. I love them. But ebooks are great too. I have a Kindle, and I gotta tell you, I bought it strictly for convenience sake. I bought it because I ran out of shelf space, but I still had books I wanted to get. And it's great for traveling. It's easier for me to travel with my Kindle than it is with 4 or 5 books, physical books. So I prefer physical books, but I love ebooks as well. Definitely a night in kind of guy. I'm not the sort to go out, party on the town, hang out with a big group of people. I'm definitely the sort to just kind of stay in and have a quiet night by myself. Living in the city or living in the country? I want a little bit of both. I don't want a huge sprawling metropolis like New York. I think a place like that would suffocate me. But at the same time, I don't want to be out in the middle of nowhere where I'm hours away from everything and internet reception is shoddy. I think I want something that's a little in between, which is kind of where I live now. So it works out. Having telepathy or telekinesis? Definitely telekinesis. Because A, I'm lazy. Sometimes I don't want to get up to do something. B, I don't think I want to hear everybody's thoughts. That would kind of creep me out. There's just some things I'm not meant to know. Being able to travel to the past or travel to the future? I think I want to go to the future. Because in a lot of ways, the past kind of sucks. And I don't really want to relive that. I want to go forward. Not too far forward. A little bit. Phone call or text? Definitely text. I'm not a big phone person. Definitely text messages. Love text messages. Love emails. Car or plane? I am definitely a car guy. I will fly. I fly for work a lot. And I don't necessarily hate it, but I don't love it. Definitely a car guy. Hotel or camping? I've never been camping, so hotel by default. Working in a group or working alone? I'm an alone kind of guy. I'm very, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm introverted. And I like my me time. So, losing all of my money or losing every picture I've ever taken? See, that's just cruel. I'm going to skip this one. That was a bad question. You should feel bad about yourself. Not really. Find true love or win the lottery? Well, I don't really expect either to happen anytime soon. Although winning the lottery would help me pay off my student loans. So there's that. Spider-Man for a day or Batman for a day? I'm going to go with Spider-Man, because Spider-Man at least sounds like he has fun. Batman's too broody for me. I mean, I like brooding in small doses. I've brewed myself. Did I just say Spider-Man? Anyway, that does it. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for taking the time to get to know me. Once again, my debut novel, Bounty, is available in paperback and Kindle on Amazon. And coming on January 5th, the sequel, Blood Ties.